Well, good afternoon. How are you today, Crystal?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm well. Welcome, everyone, to Morning Motivational Rant. I know I said good afternoon,
Hello
but
in the
no,
morning.
it's going to happen. So, yeah, so
It's afternoon somewhere,
it
and
is
it's morning somewhere.
that's it. So it's going to be falling on me to load these first thing in the morning. So that's going to be an issue. Yeah.
So it's like our morning rant, maybe, but it will be filmed in the afternoon or aired in the afternoon.
You know what? The funny thing is, if people weren't sleeping, I'd do them in the middle of the night. I wouldn't care. And I'd be like, it's the morning. Can't you see the light? No, bye. What do I care? But no, that's just, it is what it is. How is today's Father's Day, correct?
It is. It is. Are we going to go there?
I don't know. I never really celebrated any of those kind of things. Just we never did growing up. So it was, it was different. But yeah, I find there's a lot of hate today for some people complaining that Father's Day is part of the patriarchy stuff. And I'm just like, man, can we just have a day? Just have a day of let's just calm down. Everybody just relax. Enjoy. It's a Sunday. Enjoy today for today,
I'm telling you, everybody was nice and calm and relaxed in this super crazy busy Walmart today.
Really? That's nice.
Don't go to Walmart on a Sunday on Father's Day at around 12:30 in the afternoon. It's just retarded. Like, it's like you wore the helmet and then you sat in the back of the bus, kind of retarded, I'm telling you, at the Walmart. Like, at the short bus.
So it looks like we're getting pulled down today. No, you know what?
Every video we have a chance of getting pulled down.
There's a good chance, yeah. It could go either way. This is my thing, is like, how hard is it to be courteous? And I remember once, so being someone of majestic girth as myself, okay? If you put a pair of dress pants on me, if it doesn't have the proper lining, which is a silk lining for fat guys, I will burn through those pants like it's going to style. It's gone, okay? And at one point I had bought in a really nice suit. It was over $1,000. I was still really young. It was for a big event. It was a gift from my parents, and sure enough, I ripped right through it. And it was the one time that I saw my mom turn on her meanness to somebody. Which was, she was like, you know what? They're like, oh, well, it didn't have the proper lining. They're like, listen, if you didn't put the proper lining, that's you not standing behind your product. I need you to fix this. I need you to fix this now. And their guy was like, okay, fine. You know what? She's like, I don't mind paying. Just fix the damn suit. Just fix it so the kid can wear his suit. It's a nice suit. We don't want to lose it, Makes sense. But
did you blow a hole in it?
Yeah, right in my gooch. Right in the gooch was just right in. Yeah, but the thing, it's along a bunch of seams. There was some extra material. They were able to fix it. It was fine afterward. And my mom was like, I don't have a problem paying for you to fix it. I just need, you guys are the suit experts. I need you guys to fix this, right? And, but that was a big thing. Like, it was $1,000 suit. It was for an event. It was important. Like, those are important things. But when people are freaking out about,
expensive.
Yeah, well... And that's why it's like when people are freaking out about, oh, well, I don't want to stand in line. Okay, but everyone gets to stand in line, okay? Oh, I wanted that parking space. Okay, there's other parking spaces. Get over it.
So you gotta walk a minute.
Well, I remember I went to the movies and I saw somebody getting, she looked like she was getting out of the parking spot. I'm like, all right, so I'll just chill out. And she kind of goes back, front, and then she pulls fully out of it to go, and then just stops. So I'm like, okay, whoop, and I pull in. And as I'm getting out, she's like, I was backing up so you could pass by. And I'm like, what? She's like, I still wanted that spot. And I'm like, okay. So I get in my car, and I was angry, but I was like, all right, if she just didn't know what to do, fine. So I go to reverse, I turn back, and she just drives away. And I'm like,
oh my God.
I'm like,
see, people.
I was just like, wait, you just told me that this was your spot. So I'm like, okay. And I didn't even say, it's not like I was like, fuck you. Like, I was just like, what? I'm like, why would you do that? She's like, well, I was leaving you room to pass. And I'm like, okay. So I get back in the driver's seat, I turn the car on, and then she drives away, and I'm like, what? I'm like, I was doing the right thing. What are you talking about? Because I've found myself is that when someone attacks you, I'm like, you know what? Wrong yourself, and just be like, you know what? My bad. Move on.
Dino makes the same face when he's angry as he said his cum face was last week.
That's true.
Because he was like, I didn't go all on her.
Well, that's, I've decided that it's just, at this stage, like, I don't flip people off when I'm driving. I just look at them and just go, I don't like it. I don't like what you did. That's my face. Just, Because I'm like, I'm going to go wait. I'm going to swear at you. No, I don't have the time for that.
No, don't waste your time.
I just look at you and go, I'm disappointed in your existence, and just move on. Because you know what? I'm not your teacher. I'm not your parent. I don't care. You didn't figure shit out. That is on you. And you know what? The only person that benefits from that is you.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And save your swearing for when you stub your toe.
Oh, yeah.
That's when people should swear, is when they stub their toe. They should save it for then, because that is a damn fine. Or if you accidentally hit your finger with the hammer instead of the nail, that's a good time to swear. Like, those are good times to swear, not when somebody else is involved, because you don't know. Unless they're swearing at you first, and then you go at them, and you can't know. If you remain calm and you smile, if you remain calm and you smile, you wouldn't believe the effect that has on somebody. So if you really want to get somebody angry, just nod and smile at everything that they say.
Yeah.
Just go like this.
It just takes the wind out of the sails, right? Like, I had a buddy of mine who's been getting trolled recently for some stuff on Facebook. And I told him, like, just you can't not engage. You have to engage, but you don't have to acknowledge what they said. So one guy's like, oh, why don't you shut the fuck up? And my buddy did it without even talking to me or anything. By his own was like, I love you too. Boom. No more comments. I'm like, that's it. Because you know what? In the end, I don't care. Oh, you have an opinion? I don't care. Okay. Right? No. Like, it's bad enough that I judge myself so harshly, Joey. You really need to pile on that? Okay.
Yeah. That's it. That's why I can take it. I'm like, meh. I got this. Don't worry.
Why, I love when people just assume that they have to be heard, and you're like, that's really not the case. Yep. That was.
Yep. Or they say, I just speak the truth. I'm not an asshole.
Oh. I love when people introduce somebody and they're like, oh, don't worry, you'll get used to him. And you're like, oh, that just means he's an asshole and all you put up with him because of something. So I have to now discover what that something is that makes him worth being around. Or she. He or she.
Or she.
Which I don't bother.
If she's giving good head, you can put it up with, but it's not your head. So it's like, why do I have to put up with her bitchiness?
There you go. Exactly. It's like, oh, well, the best I ever heard. I was like, why do you guys hang out with that person? She's not only an idiot, but she was a jerk. And they're like, well, she's really hot. And I'm like, none of you have a chance. None of you. So what's the point? And that's, I love when people are like, yeah, but she's really hot. I'm like, so? It's just it's very peculiar.
I have a great personality because I'm a common folk 7. So I figure, and I have a really annoying laugh. And so I figure I gotta, you have to have a winning personality. And because I do weird shit, like I've peed the bed and I've done weird stuff. So, I have to win them over with my charm.
Listen, but you know what though? Realistically, that's the only thing that lasts, right? Like if you have a horrible personality, like so many people invest so much into their looks and how they appear to be. And that's like, we talked about, it was perception versus reality, where it's like, people perceive this person, oh, they're such a good person, they're so da-da-da-da, and you're like, no, they're not. They're it's just a show, right? Because in real life, they are an asshole. That's my biggest, it's my biggest frustration. Biggest frustration. But
I don't like it either.
No, it's just such a waste of time. You know?
Yep.
Like, I'm a ticking time bomb. I don't have time to waste. I have my own problems. I'm just trying to stay alive at this point.
I'm with you, honey, 100%. I was just looking up, and I'm sorry for my distraction. It's because before we started talking, I was watching some crazy YouTube videos. Because that's what I do for fun.
She sent me another video, by the way. She sent me another video, and I'm like, seriously? Again, we're going to do this? Luckily, it was only 22 minutes. I watched most of it, and I was like, this is so horrible. I don't want to think about this stuff, but yeah. Very true.
Now you know why I cry myself to sleep at night. It's because I'm like, oh my God.
Well, that's
what is happening?
Oh, yeah, that's for sure. That's why, like, what I had was, it was, because they were talking about how it was Google or Facebook? I forget which one it was. It was Facebook. So they turned on two AIs, and the AIs started talking to each other. The interesting part was they actually did. That was the first time I actually saw what they had said to each other. So it wasn't just gobbledygook. It was like, it wasn't just gibberish. They were actually saying words, but you saw that there was a certain order, a certain repetition. It essentially meaning that it was a sequence, so that it's not what is being said, it's how it's being said, placement, how it's being characterized. Yeah, that's how they're communicating. And the best part is they made up
their own language.
Yeah,
their own way of communicating.
And the thing is that nobody could understand what it was they were saying. They couldn't dissect the thing, so they unplugged it, which I'm sure made everyone safe. Yeah. I'm just going to go on the record. Off. Yeah, I'm going to go on the record. All hail our new robot overlords. They are kind and just. And
we love you, Optimus Prime.
Exactly. I look forward to serving the robot overlords in the future as their humble jester. Whatever you want, I'm there.
I will lube you up on the regular.
Absolutely. But that's the thing is, like, we had talked about this before. It's like, you can't just unplug it and like it didn't exist.
No.
It's not how it works. Like that's the crazy, like, they're operating at speeds that we can't even perceive of what's happening, right? It's very scary stuff. It's just what you need to go to sleep. Freakier? Always.
What's even freakier is that the smart people in my life, or the people that I thought were smart, totally don't believe in any of it. Totally think that it's all me being crazy because of my previous lots of history of being crazy. Yeah. But I've never been crazy about anything that wasn't true. And that's the thing. Well, everything that I've been crazy about has come up. But I research.
It comes down to believability, right? Because there's certain, like, I remember watching, we had talked about this a little bit, was, what do they call it? It's the Flat Earth documentary that's on, Netflix. It's called Beyond the Curve stuff or something. I don't
believe.
Well, the funny thing is that in the beginning, they start dropping these, it's a very well done documentary. And in the beginning, you're kind of going, okay. And then the second point, you're going, okay. And the third point, you're kind of going, that's believable too. So they've all kind of given you this circumstantial evidence per se.
Oh, yeah.
Where you're kind of starting going, okay.
They use big words.
They use very complex. It's a complex illusion that they present to you that is quasi-believable. But then they get to a certain point, and then they're like, and that's why we know it's a flat Earth. And you're like, these guys are fucking idiots. You're like, I can't believe this shit. These morons. You know, they're like, if the sun comes up in the morning and your feet are still in bed since last night, you might be a dragon. You're like, whoa. You gave me two things that are consistently happening, but then you kind of quantify them in a very just abstract way. You're like, no, that's not how this works, you know? But
I watch what everybody's talking about in order to know the truth. Because what everybody's talking about, that means, like, it's like the hot girl. Like, if all these girls are putting down a girl, like there's a group of girls putting down another girl,
As
or
they do,
you know,
yes.
something like that, chances are you want to get to know that girl, because chances are she's hot and she's cool.
Well,
And the other girls are putting her down. You know,
That's true.
so I'm like, you know what? If nobody's talking about that person though either, and it's kind of like a slow and steady come up, you got to pay attention to those motherfuckers too. Don't underestimate anybody. Because everybody's capable. Oh my God, did I send you the Bill Gates thing last night? I think I watched it way too late.
No, you can send it to me though. I'll watch it. I love that guy. He's great.
Oh, okay.
He will be in charge of our robot overlords, I'm sure. That's no question. Him and Mr. Zuckerberg, they will take over.
I'm going to send you my Bill Gates thing.
Yeah. That's right. It's going to be Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg are going to run the robots, and then Jeff Bezos will just ship them to everyone. Oh, God.
I hope not.
Did you ever watch the...
I mean,
Sorry,
he is going to, but I really hope
yeah.
not, because he's super evil.
Oh, super evil. Did you ever watch the congressional interview or the questions when they asked Mark Zuckerberg and he had to go to Congress? And he was drinking and he's drinking beer, he's like...
He even looks like an alien.
You're looking
his
going...
eyes are like all like...
Yeah. And you're like, what is wrong with this guy? You're like, what is happening? And he even's like...
He's either an alien or he has a vibrator in his bum. Either or is happening in that moment.
Listen, hey, you do you. I get it. I'm just saying, just be upfront. Just be upfront. Say, hey, listen, I might act a little bit weird. I got something up my pooper. And you're like,
exactly.
All right, man, hey, do
Being
you.
as important as he is, he does need to distinguish what's going on.
Well, we
need to know his kinks, because he knows all of ours. I think it's only fair.
Even the made up ones, that's for sure. Well, and that's it's weird because you're like people at certain levels they fight so tooth and nail for their privacy or anonymity to a certain degree, yet profit off of our complete lack of privacy and anonymity, and you're like. So
100%.
How come you get it? Yeah, well, how come you get it and I am not allowed to have it? Like in actuality, there's been reports where they're saying like your data as an individual is worth millions of dollars. Why am I not seeing? Well, why am I not getting a cut? It's me. I deserve to get paid, right? If you're using my data, that's. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say that's like them using your face or something. Without letting you know, or your voice, or your podcast, or your something.
Look, if they are describing it as my data, why are they profiting from it? I'm just saying. I remember, like 100%. in my younger, more innocent years, I remember coming up with a plan where I was saying that every person, when they are born, should be given essentially a trust of whatever. I used the number $1 million. And that would pay for their health care, that would pay for their education, their clothes, like all their expenses essentially until they became 18. Yeah, well, essentially until they became 18, they would have that. Okay. And that would be a blanket type of thing. And the reason being would be, like, and that could actually work right now for the simple fact that, okay, now all of your data is being sold. You are the direct incumbent. Like, these companies that are profiting from it, they should be putting money into larger trusts that are specifically earmarked to be funneled down to people. And then you have an opportunity where you've created this abstract basic income for people that take care of all their education, all that kind of stuff. It makes things a lot different when you think about it, because now you have an opportunity to inspire people to do art, philosophy, because they don't have to worry about earning $16 an hour. 16, that's high.
That's our AI it's like plan. 14 bucks. There's your AI plan. I think it's $14.75 or something, but yeah.
Which is dog shit money.
AI plan.
Like, that is dog shit money. But that's it. And then you have all that. Yeah, we talked about my AI plan where I'm like, I'd have that fucking neural link working its balls off, and I'd be sitting there painting a picture of me riding a horse. I don't know. But, like, that's... I think that makes sense.
I'm going to paint a painting of now. I'm sorry, Dino, but I'm totally painting a painting of you riding a horse.
Just make sure it's like make it like a bear that I'm riding, like Putin, like just
Oh my God, okay. Can I do a Russian? Oh, but you're not Russian. So I'm going to do like those little Greek feathers or not leaves or whatever, like back in the day.
I love it.
Those things.
Like I'm an Olympian. The fattest Olympian you'll ever meet. I'm like, yes, look at me. I am past my prime as Olympic man. That's horrible.
No, remember? I was totally thinking about that, and I came up with a bit about it, about how we were talking about like all the like Atlantis and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
And I haven't worked out the bit or anything, but I'm one of those people. I'm like, let's say it. But so it was just about like how like Aphrodite, like how we went from different names, because I was starting to tell my own story, right? And I'm like, okay, so I'm gonna start off from birth. Well, I started off being named Crystal. Not exactly a good head start. Okay.
No offense to all crystals out there. It's a great name. It's just been subject to certain identity issues.
Occupations.
That,
okay.
yeah. There's no Crystal the plumber. Okay.
My father wasn't hanging out, and I was white, so like it really naming me Crystal was just it wasn't the greatest decision. So I was like, well, let's think about other names in like life. Well, Jezebel. Like, that's like a biblical whore, right?
Yeah.
So,
well, yeah.
And then there's like Aphrodite, who is like a Greek whore, but not like really. She was just like the goddess of love. So she loved. And technically, whores are goddesses of love too. They're so good at love that people pay them for love. So technically, like that works out great too, right? So,
I don't disagree.
And then I was like, Brittany. And Brittany's like today's whore name, right? Like, so it's like, well, like Brittany. It's kind of like, that's, hi everybody, I'm Brittany.
And that's, well, it comes down to a woman who's named Karen, and it says, I'd like to speak to manager, and you're like, oh boy.
Oh, right? Karen.
Or Brenda.
Karen, who secretly probably did the basketball team. And then got
for sure.
And has a high school sweetheart that she's married to even after she fucked the basketball team, but he was like a jockstrap. So then they got married, and she ends up like gaining a whole bunch of weight and doesn't suck his penis anymore. That's Karen.
And that's just sad. It's just sad. And look, this is the problem is we identify certain things so often with names and everything, but like
I'm just making fun of people that do that though, because I think it's ridiculous.
Absolutely. Look, come on, like it's a no-brainer, right? Obviously, these kind of things come up, and like it's like my hate for left-handed people. It's stupid.
So it's me making fun of people that have hate for people.
Yeah. It's you lefties!
You damn lefties! It's just a ridiculous hate, right? Like you can't honest to God, hate left-handed people. Like it's unrealistic.
It's just, and you know what? We talked about this the other day. It's just there's so much hate and everything that people are just taking just by like I hate you, and you're like, what did I do, right? And
what did I do,
guys? It's so time consuming to hate somebody. God,
you're gonna hate me right now. Do you want to know why you're gonna hate me?
Why?
Not just because I cut you off for like the 100th time, but because I just ate an entire package of these crispy crunch chocolate bars while we've been on the thing.
And that's how you get diabetes, everyone. That is Crystal's trademark plan. If you want diabetes, just eat a bunch of crunchy. You'll be crunch bars, and you'll be there. Easy peasy.
In about 23 minutes.
That's okay. I literally am I'm recording this, and I'm beside an entire mountain of various types of chips and crackers and candies. So it's. I'm okay with that. I'm weird that way. Like there was a time where if I opened it, I would finish it, and my wife has been beating me to stop doing that, so it's good. So now I have like a whole bunch of half-finished things, and she's like, "Can you just finish this stuff?" I'm like, "You told me not to finish what I open. Try and be portion size regular." Horrible.
Damn it. I need Victoria here to tell me that.
Everyone, trust me, that's my Victoria, hands off. But yeah, everybody needs someone like that in their life. Well, that's the funny thing is that like being alive kind of sucks in some ways because there's no manual, there's no explanation over like, hey, if you do XYZ, you're gonna be fine. Those times disappeared like in the fucking 50s and 60s, right? If I'm loyal and a hard worker, I'll be promoted. And you're like, yeah, that's how that happened. But that's also because like a bunch of people in the world died and nobody knew what to do.
And that's why everybody died by the age of 40.
Also true. I still think we should put children back to work, but no, don't put children back to work.
But I have a super big comment about all this. Okay. Because I have something that everybody needs to think too for a minute. Because I've been listening to a bunch of podcasts nowadays and everything that's going on with all the racism and everybody hating everybody and all this stuff.
All right.
Back in the day, you couldn't make movies with women.
Yeah.
Men dressed up as women.
Yep.
Okay? And because women weren't allowed to act.
Yep.
Are we going to hate men forever? And we grew to marry them and stuff like that, and it was all okay. Women couldn't vote either. So, okay, they did blackface, all these people. Super insulting. I watched Beverly Hillbillies, which I love, and I watched a white guy dressed up as a native person. Super discriminating, right? Okay?
Super bad.
And but they were also super naive. And back in the day, like, it went from women not being able to act to like, and it was just like a big thing. But you know who didn't make a big thing of it? Was way back in the days. Color and stuff wasn't important. No. There wasn't slavery and stuff like that way back in the day. And slavery and stuff was more ignorance passed down.
Well, and
it was just ignorance and ignorance and ignorance. And then black people never given a chance after slavery. Because it's like when you stick people into an elementary school, let's say, start off elementary school, and then you say, oh, that kid has learning disabilities. And then you send them off to high school. They're in basic classes now. Right. Then they move into lower income housing. Then they're... Oh, why are these people never off the system? Because they never had a fucking chance. Yep. Nobody was there being like, oh, you should really get your shit together because we saved up, you got to go to college. Or nobody was there, you know what I mean? So it's like, you got to give these people a chance. Give them the opportunities. Treat them like everybody else. And that's it. That's what everybody's fighting for, isn't it?
Yeah.
So isn't it the same fight that everybody's fighting? So let's all work together to get it solved, you know?
And this is the big thing. And you know what? I'm glad you actually brought that up, Crystal, because it's interesting is that in grade 5, I think it would have been. I think it was grade 4 or grade 5. I remember we had to take the standardized test, and we took them again in grade 6. And one of the things that I remember, one of the questions was, do you speak English at home? Which I realize now, I'm like, wow, you could not ask that right now. And the thing is, I said no. And the reason for that was, so my dad, he went to school both in Greece and when he migrated to Canada, he did stuff here. And he learned English, right? But his English wasn't good. So he would speak in Greek so we could learn Greek. But my mom would speak in English because she was trying to get better with English. But, you know, normal European household, my dad is the one who most often talked. So he would encourage us all. And by encourage us, I mean, what'd you say? It wasn't that bad. But his thing was to speak in Greek. So at home, yes, my dad, like, he put us in Greek school. He would always try and get us to become more knowledgeable. But I found that the following years after I took those tests, that I would be in classes where there were a lot of people who were English was their second language predominantly, and I was like, I think I'm in the dumb class, and it was like, and I'm like, I'm not dumb, I just speak like, and I didn't really understand it back then, and then going back, I realized I'm like, yeah, you know what, that was hard because the assumption was, oh, you're dumb, and it all happened all the time, and especially the way I look too. Doesn't really help because I look like I like to call it Euro chic Shrek or Euro trash Shrek. That's definitely you know. But
no,
that's the problem.
But no, I had the same thing because I grew up in. I had the same thing because I was always in lower income housing, so it was always where you were living, and then I was always moving around, so I was always a new kid in class.
Yeah.
So because I always came from the ghetto, being the new kid, and my mom was a single mom, and so they just assumed that I was fucked up. But meanwhile, like, I take IQ tests and I have an average score of about like 20 tests, and I have an average score of about 115, 112. So like, I'm not bad.
No.
You know, like,
well,
so.
That's the funny thing is, like, if you want to judge me on how I look or my background, you know, no one can stop you. But trust me, I can give you a lot of reasons to hate me, and those are all on the inside. I hide them very well because I'm not a good person. I'm not nice, right? And I think one of the things that really solidified things between me and my wife was specifically that I'm like, oh, no. If you fuck with one of mine, like, if you fuck with my people, I will kill you. And I have no reservations about that whatsoever. It's like, no. If you come after my family, you're dead. That's what's going to happen. Why? Because I'm an idiot, right? But that doesn't mean that I'm not educated enough to say, no. Well, that doesn't mean that I'm not going to say, well, we're going to call the police. We're going to make sure that we're protected and it's going to, you know, and do the proper things. But if you attack me, yeah, dude, I'm 400 pounds. Even if I know you are talented and trained and you can kick the shit out of me, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to wrap you up and then just fall on you and then just let my weight encompass you. I will absorb you like the blob absorbed that town. Like, you're gone, right? So, but it's like, no, that's like the last thing. And that's why it's like people are standing around judging people by where they're from, the color of their skin. And I will be the first to admit that that's not easy to get over. And you know what? I know as much change as we hopefully can get done right now. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just saying it's especially not easy to get over when it's being thrown in everybody's face every 5 seconds.
True.
Because when we didn't look at racism, we didn't look at people as different as us until more recently. Because the younger, like my generation, our generation, we didn't see race as, like, most of us are naive to it.
Well,
like, as white people, most of us were naive to racism because most of us, like, I was a little bit, like, I was pretty naive. I lived in Windsor, so everybody was black, like, a lot. So, like, you know, so I didn't know that I was different than them. You know, like, I was around Native people all the time. I didn't realize I was so different until I went to the last Native reserve, and they hated me. And it broke my heart because I'm like, oh, like, I love all your readings and I love all your stuff. Like, I believe in your culture more than any other culture because of it's so earth, wind, and fire and blah, blah, blah. But yeah, anyways, I'm so sorry.
No. That's the thing is, even with what we're trying to do right now, and I think it's a wonderful thing that we're trying to get change to happen across the world. It's a great thing. Yeah. The hard part about that is and I really think this comes down to the first step is getting rid of those first thoughts or habitual reactions will be the first thing to get to get over, because even if you have that, like one of the examples that I've seen a lot is like when a man with a darker complexion gets on an elevator with a white woman, how she'll grab her purse. Now, number one, that's fucking horrible. I know it is. There's no question. No one in the right mind would be like, oh no, that doesn't happen, or nor is that okay. That's just a horrible thing. But
it's stupid. It's really bad when people misunderstand you, like, or misjudge you before they know anything about you. It's horrible.
But if we could stop and say, okay, you know what? If somebody did that, say, grab the purse, and then go, you know what? I'm being stupid. And then just put their purse down. I'm like, that's a win. Yeah. Because they realized it, said, that's what I'm trying to fight. Let me just correct that. And then, you know what? Maybe when we put it down, be like, oh, good morning. So, you know, like something, I don't know. What do I know, right? Yeah. It's not like I know what these people are experiencing. It's fucking horrible. I can only imagine how bad it is.
I don't know either.
Like, that's the thing is, every one of those steps is a success, and we need some fucking successes right now. Because right now it sucks. Yep. Gorilla dicks. It's horrible.
And I'm really sorry that it's so sensitive for people. Like, I'm really sorry that to everybody out there Like, I know how much it hurts to have that stuff affect you that much.
Yeah.
Like, and then you get so, like, you know, like, it just sucks, like, when something affects you and you're like, oh, I don't want something silly like that to bother me. Because, like, what does it matter what that woman thinks, you know? But and it sucks to feel that way, too. So it sucks that you've been put in that position, everybody. Like, to everybody that's in that position, I'm sorry about that.
Look.
Because, and you deserve to reach for whatever you want to do, and nobody's going to stop you. Look. Just do it anyways. Somebody tells you no, you do it anyways. Nobody tells you no.
We're not going to advocate. We're not advocating doing whatever you want to, even though people say we're not advocating that. Let's just be very clear, okay? Gonna get us lynched.
If whatever you want doesn't involve you having to go to jail after.
Look, you know? Not even that. Listen, take the time to actually process what needs to be done to achieve a certain goal. Have a process. Because a process, and you know, this is one of the big things I learned in my life was that something goes well by chance, that's not duplicatable. But if you can pick it apart, if you can figure out what the process was, what made it work, that is duplicatable. And will it work every time? No. It's about that effort though, right? If we have a process that maybe works, then let's use it again. And you know what? I'll be the first one to admit it. I think a lot of people are getting scooped up in the frenzy of what's happening, and I'm not saying they're wrong or right. I'm just saying this is just it's human nature 101. We get just kind of swooped up in the frenzy of everything, and things can go a little bit and sometimes a lot too far, and that's terrifying because you know. There are times when we make poor decisions, but sometimes we're not. You're laughing at me. I don't know why you're laughing at me now.
No, because I was just thinking about being swooped up because of that thing, like I said, that I was watching.
Oh, yeah.
It was the MK Ultra shit. No, my latest one that I was watching before this. No, because you're like being swooped up.
Well, look,
and they did that at Disney World.
Oh yeah, it's terrifying. Well, okay, and just so everyone knows, we are not experts. We're just comedians having fun, talking about some subjects, trying to gain perspective in a positive way, so that we can, you know, move forward as a whole, as a community, as a people. Because the fact is, race doesn't exist. It shouldn't exist.
Yeah.
It's something we need to destroy, and because after all is said and done, we're just human beings, and we're just trying, right? But that's the funny thing is you get swooped up in these things, right? And you're like, that makes sense. And you're like, MK Ultra happened, okay? Let's just be very clear, okay? That is some whacked out shit.
I think it happened to me. Dino, I think it happened to me, okay? Because I had to go to a remote viewer machine.
Yeah.
No, I'm not even joking a little bit, okay? It's kind of scary. Like, I've been institutionalized a lot. Like, a lot. And I've spent a lot of time in penitentiary.
Okay.
I've been institutionalized, like mental hospitals,
a
couple times, and I don't even know really why. Like, I don't really know like how it happened, and it was for long periods of time. They're like, we never keep people for over 72 hours, but yet I was in there for a super long time, and then like, and I've had like the shock therapy done, everything. I've been in penitang. Oh yeah, in Aurelia they did it, and all the doctors that I've seen. Like everybody can look him up. Dr. Rodway Norman, he's now a woman and he doesn't have his job anymore because he just got fired for like malpractice or something like that in Aurelia. Yeah, freaky shit. The same thing with my female doctor, Dr. Dewey. Everyone can look her up. She got from the chief of psychiatry within a year to being, again, she's got something against her and they're looking it up and she's been, freaky shit, right? And then like they try to put me on like 15 pills a day and I just stopped everything and I just started smoking weed and life was so much better.
Well, that's, you know what? It's funny that you would say
and then
that.
when I see that MK Ultra videos, I was like, because I'm just super awkward too, right? So I'm like, wonder if shit happened.
There's a movie. You said you do like scary movies, right?
Huh?
You do like scary movies,
No,
yes?
I really have. Oh, I love scary movies.
Perfect.
Maybe that's
So,
my problem.
So I remember one that I saw. It's with Ben Kingsley. It's called Suspect Zero, and it's about the
Okay.
MK Ultra stuff. And essentially, his
Ooh.
thing is now he's hunting down serial killers, but these are serial killers. So he uses remote viewing, which is the principle of MK Ultra, and being able to connect with people remotely. That was the whole principle of it. But this guy was also military trained. So you have Ben Kingsley, who really looks like a stand-up guy. Has played some really ridiculous parts where you're like, oh, the guy looks crazy. But he goes on to explain how he was hunting down serial killers that no one knew existed. Like, no one had any inclination that these people were serial killers. Not their spouses, not anybody. And then he says how he's like, they never showed us how to turn it off. It's Rob YouTube Luba. That's true. Look him up. Yeah, that'll work. But his thing was they never taught us. It is very funny.
We love
He's
you,
a great
Rob.
guy. He's
I'm
very
really
funny.
sorry.
We do.
He is a great guy.
So,
Anyways.
But he's saying, he goes, they didn't show you how to turn it off. And that's the thing is, like, there's so much experimentation with people who are suffering from mental difficulties and have mental breakdowns and stuff, that you're like, yeah, electroshock therapy. You're like, yeah, you know how much that messes up your mind? Like, it is, that kind of stuff is mental. And that's, yeah.
I remember everybody,
because
because we used to have to do it. Sorry. We used to have to do it in the morning, and everybody would come out, and they'd be all like all groggy, and I'd come out like, "Hi guys," like it had zero effect on me. Like they used to put me in isolation all the time, and I'd walk out, and I'd be like, "Hi, how's the weather today?" like everybody else would be freaking out. Let me out of here! Blah blah blah. I'm like, "Hi," but I have a positive spin on life.
It's funny that you would say that, because like that's how I'd be. I'm like, you put me in solitary, I'd be like, all right, and I'd just be like,
yeah.
I'll just sit here and waste the time. You get me? I'll be like, all right, no problem. I'm all good.
Yeah.
That's why.
I've got a great imagination.
Yeah. Like if you could see what's in here, trust me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
would
do
run.
nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised that I don't run away from myself. That's.
I don't want to leave myself. I just wish it would slow down sometimes for a minute.
Well,
like, give me a break.
I get shin splints. I can't catch up. It's a horrible thing.
Right? Right?
Oh, man. So this is.
Oh, I had to babysit yesterday, and I got the worst shin splints.
Well, that'll happen.
Because apparently I'm not 2 and 5. So
that will do it. That will do it. I've heard, yeah.
Damn, kids want to play so much. When did that happen? They want to crawl all over you.
I remember watching a show, and one guy was saying how, he goes, when I was a kid, I would start at like 8 o'clock in the morning playing soccer, and like wouldn't stop until like 8 o'clock at night. He's like, now, it's like, I walk up the stairs, and he was a guy who was in good shape. He's like, I walk up the stairs, and I'm like, was that one flight? It felt like 3. I don't know what's happening. I feel like that all the time.
Somebody pass me a chocolate bar.
I need an orange slice or something. Just anything. I can't. Oh.
I need something.
Well, that's.
Somebody hand me a Snickers.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Had that happen a couple times. You need a Snickers? I'm like, yeah, I need a Snickers. I'm just gonna sit on the step for a little while and just you get me the Snickers and come back to me. We'll see. If I'm still awake, I'll eat the Snickers. We'll be fine. Oh man,
you just made me miss Robin Williams, or I made him Robin Williams.
Oh, he was fantastic.
Wasn't he fantastic? And then at the end, I had this painting of him with the masks. And he's like, wear many masks.
Yeah.
And that's people being depressed inside because they can't be themselves. They have to be an image that everybody wants them to be, or else nobody's happy with. And it's like you can't let somebody just be themselves because you're so quick to judge them. But let people be themselves.
Yeah.
You know?
No, it's true. And that's
sucks.
the real hard part about it, right? Is you have a whole bunch of people that just don't know how to survive keeping that part of them secret. Right? And it's always confusing because you never know how people are going to react to what you say.
Well, sometimes if everybody were to be comfortable just saying it, then it would be okay. But everybody's so scared. So scared. And we're all so scared to make each other happy. Why can't we understand this? Everybody wants to just make each other happy, but we don't get it. Like, we're so angry at each other because we love each other so much that we want to impress each other.
Well, that's
like,
why.
I wish we just get that. Like,
It's so ludicrous how hateful people are right now. That, like, listen, I get the principles of what you're saying, but that doesn't mean that you can start killing people. It doesn't mean you can do that. Like, people have been wronged. We have to address it in the right way, or who knows where this is going to go, right? It's scary. It's terrifying.
Where are we going to come from this, people? Everybody's got to think of what's this going to lead to. Everybody's got to think, like, it's like when you're in a relationship. You got to pick and choose your battles. Do you want to fight over every little thing? Is this a make or break situation? Is this really something worth bringing up? Or is it just you having a crazy moment, based upon a past relationship or based upon something you saw on TV or something, you know what I mean?
Look, and you know what?
She treats her husband like that, or you know what I mean? Like,
look, and that's not unreasonable. Look, establishing prior experiences, it's fine. You have to you have to temper it so that it's accurate. Listen, if you walk into an area and you see a person of a type, a skin color that you had a bad interaction with, that is zero reason to be mad. Zero. There's zero.
I would never get laid
reason to be
if
mad
that was the situation. Like, fuck.
Also true. Also true.
I would never be able to date.
No,
God damn it. Or I would never be able to be a lesbian either because if I could female, fuck. Like, I would never be able to date.
So for people listening,
anybody.
Second day in a row that Crystal's brought up being a lesbian. Interesting. She's like, no, I couldn't be. I like cock too much, but
I don't know. Maybe I do. I just don't like women that much. Like, I think vaginas are gross and women are mean. Vaginas are gross and women are
I'm gonna admit that women are mean. Women are mean. That is true. That is true. Women are
mean. Mean. They're like, oh my god, that looks so good on you. Oh my god, I can't believe she fucking wore that in public. Can you believe she fucking wore that? What a fucking whore. Like, oh my fucking god. Dude, I can't wait to see you. Oh, we're such good friends. Oh, I will not let her in my fucking house again. Did you see what she was wearing?
Yeah. And it's, like, honestly, it's so crazy how bad, like, people will be mean for no reason. And you're like,
oh, yeah.
Why? They're like, yeah, I just didn't like you. And you're like, why? I just don't like you.
But for what?
But we don't even know each other.
Yeah, I don't trust that person. Why don't you trust that person? Oh, well, so-and-so said that person did this.
Oh.
Okay. And you don't know what happened between so-and-so and that person. Like, you know
what?
With everything going on today, it's all word of mouth, people. Yeah. We're all playing broken fucking telephone. So,
oh, no, but it's not broken telephone anymore. It's like 1994 dial-up internet is what we're talking about. That's how we're communicating. It's like,
this is not communication. Remember when you used to have to, like, walk over to somebody's house for 4 fucking miles to see if they could come out and play? Yeah. Like, because you weren't allowed to call after a certain... Yeah.
All right. I'm just going to walk home like a loser.
Yep. It was just fucking stupid.
So you really wonder...
That was the way, though.
I was just saying...
And we used to write notes to each other. I love that. And fold them up all cool.
I could never fold those fucking things up. People would say, I'm like, I don't know what to do with this thing. Like, open it up. I'm like, it doesn't open. I have sausage fingers and it's too tight.
I love that. I love them. I miss those days. But even then, that was losing connection.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
If you think about it, like, you could tell by the person's handwriting a little bit more than you can a text.
Yeah.
Or you could tell if there was teardrops on the paper.
Whoa, just easy there, okay? That is not the childhood we're recommending. There should not be any tears on your notes. There should be happy, positive. Punctuation is very important when communicating.
But you were happy if you got little hearts on your eyes. You know, ooh, she must really like me because she hearted her eyes.
I wouldn't know, Crystal, though. Thank you for bringing that up. I had a great childhood. As you can see, I'm very attractive. Some might say an icon of beauty and sexuality.
I wasn't good either. I've been the same height since grade 6. I'm 5'8". That's really not great. And I've had this laugh my whole life. Like, you know, and no titties. Like, I'm just lucky that men got perverted. I didn't get, like, so I wasn't exactly the winning catch. I have size 9 feet. Like, you know, like.
I'm not sure what has happened. I just realized that Crystal has praised how filthy men are, that it gave her a chance at love. That's fantastic.
I love them. I love men.
Okay.
I love the filthiness because it allows me to be filthy.
Also true. That's also true. Also true.
Because I'm like, please be gross so that way my grossness isn't so gross. Like, because I chew my own toenails and stuff, right?
Oh, so, like, gross! What is wrong with you?
No, you do it in the shower. So that way...
That's not a solution!
Yeah, you do it in the shower. Well, what do? You probably flick them everywhere, and then they go in somebody's soup, and then you got toenail soup. Like, you know, like, at least when I do it, my toenails are clean. Like, they're
Come
clean.
over to
Nobody else
Dino's
is
and
around.
get some toenail soup. It's more delicious than it sounds. It has a bit of crunch to it every once in a while. But
Ew, it's probably got something underneath it.
It's so
like, you
gross.
know.
Okay.
No, your way is grosser.
Listen, okay. Let's be very clear. So I've heard this is that the best time to cut nails would be after the shower, specifically because when they're soft, they don't shoot far away. That is a fact. Okay, so that is one thing. However,
yeah. So why not do it in
using
the
clippers
shower?
is okay. Okay, using clippers. Okay, I'll tell you right now. Okay, I use clippers for my hands. When it comes to down low, I'll be honest. There have been some issues with me being able to reach that part of my body at times because it's quite far away.
That's why you don't do it, because you can't do it.
Well,
That's why you won't do it.
I just use my. Well, number one, I've never been able to put my own foot in my mouth. That's disgusting, but that's just me. I find feet gross. That's why. That's only because I have Flintstone feet. It's my feet are the problem. It looks like a circle with lines drawn in it. That's it, right?
Yeah.
So, but realistically, yeah. Now we know, everyone.
I think feet are gross too. I have big feet and they're veiny, like they're all blue veiny. Like I'm gonna be one of those old ladies with the blue veins all over them, where you're like, "Whoa, grandma's see-through."
You know what's bullshit? Okay, is that Crystal barely weighs a quarter of my weight, and she's like, "I might get varicose veins." Listen, lady, okay, I got varicose veins. That's none of your goddamn business. I gotta wear special socks and shit. Okay, don't take away my pain. I have earned this shit.
No, I'm talking about my feet are veiny. Like, I got those big, like, crackhead veins. Like, you know, like, the big, like...
We don't mean to offend any crackheads who are watching this right now. You be you.
We love you all the same. You do you. You get through your shit. You fight your demons, baby. You got this.
Absolutely.
Go to NA every day.
So, that is about our time. I'm going to finish it up. I'm going to say, guys, every day, question what you believe.
Educate yourself.
Exactly. Use knowledge. Knowledge is the one thing that people can't take away from you. So take the time, educate yourself, question your beliefs, question what you're being told. I talked with someone today and we were saying how people will follow what politicians will say. The army will function as a unit. That's because there's a certain belief system attached to these things. And believing in yourself, in your community, in your neighbor, in the people around you is something we've lost, and we need to regain it so that we can overcome what has come to light and where we need to be for the betterment of everyone. That's my morning motivational rant. Thank
Can
you,
I add to
Crystal.
that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Can I add to that? I just want to tell people that question is not doubt.
Absolutely.
Just because you question something, I don't want you to think that that means that you're doubting it. Like if you're questioning anything, don't think of it as a doubt and a negative. Questioning is okay. It's just finding out about, even if you're finding out about something that you once loved, like let's say you're questioning your religion, or you're questioning, something that you have been told your whole life.
That's right.
Don't look at it as a negative. Don't look at it as doubt. Question is not the same as doubt. It's just more informing yourself on something.
That's right.
So it's good.
And that's why is asking a question legitimizes your belief. It doesn't make it, it doesn't disregard it. And the fact is if investigating and questioning it does make you doubt it, then that's all the more so something more important that you have to recognize.
And that you should appreciate from it.
Absolutely.
It's because it makes you know, and you don't know, and you don't have to feel bad about something, if you've lived a certain way and you're just figuring out but that's not a fault. That's just thinking a way you've been brought and how you've been, it's just life.
Absolutely.
Don't be so hard on yourself, everybody. Go ahead, Dino. Where can people find you and stuff in the show?
I am. So this is going to be posted on Morning Motivational Rant on Instagram and YouTube. I am Dino the Genetic Marvel. You can find me on Instagram, on YouTube, on Facebook, all Dino the Genetic Marvel, and Twitter. Crystal, where can everyone find you?
Everybody can find me, simply me, at YouTube, Crystal Morency, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, blah, 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 all that yucky social media stuff. But we love you for posting us, YouTube.
Excellent. Have a good day, everyone. That's been Morning Motivational Rant, and we will see you probably tomorrow.